See how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah. I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby. It's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Let's go. We made it, ladies and gentlemen. We made it. Hopefully that did not burst anybody's eardrums out there, but ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are here to talk all things NFL draft for the Arizona Cardinals. And guess what? Today is the day. One more time for the guys in the back. Let's go. Fire emoji it up in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the day. We got we got a lot of things to talk about today. We got a good fun-filled show for you guys today. Do me a huge favor for the people that are currently in the chat right now. Smack that like button. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We are on the road to 17K. Cannot do it without you guys. So subscribe it up, smack the like button. We are going to have an absolute fun-filled show. We're going to talk all things NFL draft, all things buzz, all things rumors, all things Arizona Cardinals. And guys, we made it. We made it. So appreciate you guys for being here. We got my guy RC3 here, blessing everybody. Absolutely. We got Joey. We got Cards Fan. We got Moles. We got Joey in the chat. We got Kevin, Andrew, Sebastian. Appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it. We are going to be live during the draft as well. I don't know if you guys noticed, so if this is your first time here in a very long time, I know a lot of people sometimes don't like to talk NFL anything unless it's the draft or free agency. But yes, I have moved to a brand new studio. I recently got the TV mounted here, so I'm feeling good, man. I'm excited to see the NFL draft starting here at 5 p.m. Arizona time, and I'm excited to see who the Arizona Cardinals are going to pick here at 16, because let's call it like it is, ladies and gentlemen. There is nobody right now, and I'm talking about all these draft analysts from ESPN, all these guys doing mock drafts. Nobody knows what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do this year. Nobody does. The mock drafts are a dime a dozen. Everybody's opinion is being put out there. We got people saying the Cardinals are going to go wide receiver. We got people going out there saying we're going to go linebacker. We got people going out there saying we're going to go tackle, defensive, or just trenches in general. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what Monty Ossenfort's going to do. So we're going to be diving into, obviously, a lot of the stuff that Monty Ossenfort has said during his press conference. We got a few of those clips to obviously dive into. We are going to take a look at the Gambo 5. And if you guys don't really, hold true too much, very much, I do. I really do. One thing I like before even starting up this podcast or this channel is I've been very, very big fan of Arizona sports and mainly John Gambadoro. I love what he does, and every year he puts out a Gambo 5, and we're going to be talking about that here today as well. There's some players on there that I'm really kind of bummed out that they're not on his list, but at the end of the day, right, it's all based off everybody's opinion. So I got my own top 5 in at 16, so we're going to be diving into my top 5 at 16 as well. But it just depends on who's going to be there. You don't know who's going to be there at 16. Nobody knows who's going to be there at 16. Heck, we can see Jackson Dart going top 10. We can see Milrow going in the 20s in the first round. We don't know what's going to happen this year. We can see Shedeur Sanders fall to 21. We can see Shedeur Sanders fall to 9. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. So this is one of the most beautiful parts here of the NFL draft, is just the unknown, the intrigue, the ability to be able to react and make fun of people for making crazy moves. We're going to see 32 people's opinions being put on national TV, and it's such a beautiful thing, man. It's such a beautiful thing. We got my guy Adam Bomb Gaming with the first super chat of the day. Thank you so very much for the contribution. He's coming out and saying, I really hope that we either get Josh Simmons or James Pierce Jr. Well, let me give you a DJ Air sound, and I did find a way to make it lower, so hopefully it doesn't burst anybody's eardrums, but let's get it. I do agree. I 100% agree. So here's the thing, right? go back to my very first mock draft, ladies and gentlemen. Go back to my very first mock draft before this was even before I believe free agency. My very first mock draft, I had the Arizona Cardinals going Josh Simmons, and you don't know how many people completely cooked me on that draft. Now, there was a lot of people that were on board with it as well. So I'm not going to come out and say that everybody absolutely hated my pick at 16. But now we're sitting on draft day, and now we got a very realistic chance for the Cardinals to choose Josh Simmons at 16. If not, maybe a potential trade back and still getting Josh Simmons if they decide to trade back, right? So it's going to be very fascinating in terms of if the Cardinals are truly going to go Josh Simmons, which honestly I do think is a really good tackle. I think a lot of people are really scared to potentially go after him because of the injury that he had, right? But you're talking about a potential best tackle in the class, and I'm talking about being as athletically gifted as you potentially can be, right? And of course, you got Justin Fry on your offensive line as the coach. So it almost kind of felt like the stars were aligning. And that's one of the main reasons why I did my mock draft, the very first mock draft, the way that I did was Josh Simmons was that guy at 16. But of course, like my guy says here in the chat, I would love the idea of James Pierce Jr. being that guy as well. But I get it, man. The character concerns that have been floating around, and I've been doing a little bit more digging myself. I get why some people don't want to do it, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I think James Pierce Jr. is gonna be one of the most feared edge rushers in the NFL. And if the Cardinals can somehow look past that, I feel like you're gonna get a really, really good player on your hands. But obviously, it's gonna take a lot of coaching, a lot of defensive line coaching, Jonathan Gannon coaching to kind of get in his ear, and hopefully he gets right. And I'm talking about obviously his his persona and who he is, right? Because with what we've seen or what we've heard, not seen, what we've heard is that he's really hard to coach. And that he and some players didn't like being around him. So and obviously that's all allegations, right? That's all hearsay. We don't really know specifically, yes, but that's just what people are saying out there. So, I do love James Pierce Jr. myself as well, and I think he's gonna be a really fantastic player. It's just, are the Cardinals gonna be able to get past that big character concern, big character issue, right? And of course, Josh Simmons being up there as well. I do not hate your list, Adam, one bit. I do not hate your list one bit. So let's dive into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's first start off here with and like I said, I know some people out there don't really take too much account as to, some people don't even listen to the radio anymore. So I completely um I get that, but I do want to go ahead and dive into John Gambadoro's Gambo 5. I do believe that there is going to be some things to obviously talk about when it comes down to it. So let's dive right into that first here, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Let's talk about the Gambo 5. Now, he does this every single year, or at least for the most recent years. He has been very, very good as to targeting who the Cardinals are going to get. He gives you 5 players that he thinks that they're going to go after, and for the most part, he's been hitting pretty darn well. Now, you can tell that when he was actually talking about this the day before, there's so much unknown when it comes down to this draft class that when he was talking about it, he did leave room for a little error, right? Like, nobody knows, man. Even the best draft analyst out there doesn't know what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do. They don't know. They do not know. But I do want to obviously take into account what he has to say, because he's a guy that I love to follow. I love to hear what he has to say always. And let's dive right into what his Gambo 5 was. And he did release this yesterday on Arizona Sports. Now, the first guy, now this is not in any specific order, I believe, but the first guy he mentioned potentially at 16 can be Tyler Booker, right? Now, I do believe Tyler Booker can be there at 16. To me, and I'm not saying he thinks value is good, but this is just the top 5 guys that he sees fit as potentially, guys the Cardinals can go after. Tyler Booker, guard out of Alabama, it's just too rich for me, right? At 16, if the Cardinals do decide to trade back in the 20s and they want to get Tyler Booker, I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that. But like right there at 16, I don't know. There's something about it I'm just not okay with. But I do get it. Like the whole offensive line class, it's not the best offensive line class, right? And I think a lot of general managers and football people know that. So probably they want to get the best guard, right? Or seen to be the best guard, in this draft class early, right? And then worry about the defensive line because it's supposed to be a really, really good defensive line class in the second round, right? Or potentially trading up in the first round, right? So there's a lot of different kind of going back and forth with that. So I like Tyler Booker as a player. I don't know. I feel like it's a little too rich for me, but he had him there. Number 2 in his Gamble 5 is Kelvin Banks Jr., which is another offensive lineman. It definitely feels like offensive line and trenches in general is absolutely favoring the thought of this can be a real thing, right? That it could be trenches for the Arizona Cardinals. And I do like Kelvin Banks Jr. I just feel like Kelvin Banks is probably going to go. I don't know. I have a feeling he's probably going to go somewhere in the top 10, if not probably like 11, like number 11 to the 49ers. I feel like Kelvin Banks is going to be a slot, a shoe in for the 49ers if he does fall there. It makes too much sense. There's a lot of unknown, and they want to keep Brock Purdy upright. So Kelvin Banks Jr. is on the Gamble 5 as well. And then he's got Josh Simmons on there, offensive tackle from Ohio State. It's just, it almost kind of feels like a I don't know, like a full circle moment for me with Josh Simmons now being talked about amongst the Arizona Cardinals fan base as a, hey, I love this pick, right, as a potential pick. But like I kind of almost want to bring up that old video that I have and how much people were roasting me on there. But I guess I'll leave that up to you guys if you guys want to dive into that. But Josh Simmons has always been a player that I've always found pretty fascinating, and a good pickup for the Cardinals at 16 if they decided to go that route. The biggest knock on him was the idea that he just had a really bad injury, right? But he could potentially arguably be the best offensive tackle in this year's draft class, right? And you can get your two bookends in the first year of Monty and then the third year of Monty. So I wouldn't be mad at Josh Simmons, but he does have him at the number 3 spot at the Gambo 5. And then he's got Walter Nolan, which I believe Walter Nolan will also go top 10. If not, another spot will definitely be the 49ers as well. I'm not the biggest fan of Walter Nolan, and I think I might be the minority with that. I'm not the biggest fan of Walter Nolan. If they do trade back and they get him later on, I'm cool with that as well. I don't know. I feel like the undersize in terms of weight, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan, but if they go that route, obviously I'm going to find a way to like it, right? I'm going to find a way to do deep dives and really kind of figure out how he's about. But I don't know. Walter Nolan might be the least intriguing out of this Gamble 5 to me. I'm going to be real. But yeah, Walter Nolan's number 4, and then number 5, Michael Williams, pass rusher out of Georgia. So yeah, I love it, man. I love his Gamble 5. I think it's a really, really good things to talk about, obviously, with the idea that the Cardinals are going to go trenches. I don't think that's really a surprise for Cardinal fans. I think we all kind of knew that trenches is what was going to be favored for the Arizona Cardinals, and it's just kind of more emphasizes, right? More emphasizes. Now, he does have some honorable mentions. Derek Harmon. That's another player I'm not too high on as well, especially in that position at the 16th overall. I'm not too high on Derek Harmon at 16. If they want to trade back and accumulate more draft pick, then I'm okay with getting Derek Harmon in the 20s. But I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of him at 16. But like I said, I'll find a way to be okay with it if the Cardinals do go that direction. Now, he did want to eliminate a couple different players, James Pierce Jr. and Shamar Stewart. He eliminated them, and he also did say there's no way in heck the Cardinals are going to go wide receiver in the first round as well. So for what it's worth, if you guys do follow John Gambadoro, which does a fantastic job at Arizona Sports, that is his Gamble 5, Tyler Booker, Kelvin Banks Jr., Josh Simmons, Walter Nolan, and Michael Williams. So those are going to be his Gamble 5. Now, let me give you my guys. And like I said, this is all prediction at this point, right? Like, I want to be real. This is all prediction at this point. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do. Heck, Monty Austinford doesn't even know what he's going to do. We're just going to fall. Like, it's going to see who falls, right? At the end of the day. Let me give you my top 5 prospects that I would love the Cardinals to get. I'm not saying I have sources. This is just guys that I would love the Cardinals to potentially target at 16 if they are there at 16, right? So I want to be very clear. Not saying they're sources, but these are my favorite guys that I would love the Cardinals to go after, right? Number 1, Will John. Okay, this is no specific order. I want to be very clear. This is no specific order, okay? But number 1, Will Johnson. I get the concerns with the knee injury that was flagged. I 110% get it. I get everything that's coming out there, but I still do believe that if you get him at 16 or potentially trade back and get him in the later part of the first round, because there is rumors out there that he's going to fall, right? That he's going to fall. So, I do love the idea of potentially going after a Will Johnson. I think he's probably one of the most solid cornerbacks in this year's draft class. And honestly, he's being flagged. It almost kind of feels like somebody down in the bottom of the 20s are going to want to benefit from getting a Will Johnson. If the Cardinals can do that, if they feel confident in getting him, we'll have to kind of wait and see how that shakes out. So I got Will Johnson being one of my guys out there that I would love the Arizona Cardinals to potentially go after. Another guy is going to be James Pierce Jr. I get it. I know you guys are probably sick of me saying James Pierce Jr. already, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. James Pierce Jr. is going to be one of my favorite pass rushers at the attainable spot that we can get him at 16, right? I get the character concerns. I 100% agree. But there's something about him, man. There's something about James Pierce Jr. that I feel like he's going to be a dog in the NFL. And I hope he doesn't land at the Eagles. I hope he doesn't land at one of these big juggernaut teams that is only going to get better and only benefit from how good he's going to be in the NFL. Now, that's a big thing to overcome, right? Overcoming the idea that he is a potential problem, right? In terms of a character problem in the locker room. I understand that, but he's still a part of my top 5 that I would love the Cardinals to get at 16. Next guy is going to be Josh Simmons. I mocked him in my very first mock draft 1.0 before free agency. I had Josh Simmons coming to the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm going to stick to my guns. I do believe, obviously, the connection with Justin Fry, and just the way that the Cardinals love Ohio State guys, man. They love Ohio State guys. So I'm going to put him up there as well. I got Josh Simmons at 16 potential, and I got a couple new ones, or not a couple new ones, but one of them being Jalen Walker. If somehow Jalen Walker falls to 16, I would at least hope the Arizona Cardinals can consider the idea of potentially getting Jalen Walker. I love Jalen Walker. I get the tweener. I get the people that are upset that, Jalen Walker can play 2 positions, linebacker and edge. My only hope is if they do get a Jalen Walker and he falls to the Cardinals, then the Cardinals can use him primarily at edge, right? Because I think that's where he's going to flourish the most in the NFL. So that's my 4 so far. And then my 5 is going to be Mykel Williams. So I'm going to take a couple from my guy Gambo. So I got Josh Simmons and Mykel Williams, kind of very similar traits. I like Mykel Williams. I do think he's got the potential of being a really good edge rusher. It's just, I think when you're really looking at it, James Pierce Jr. might not, I think Mykel might be the pick over James Pierce solely based off of, are you the right guy for our locker room, right? And Monty values that. So Mykel might be over James Pierce on my big board. Do I think James Pierce is higher than Mykel? Yes, 110%. I think I think James Pierce Jr. is going to be a fantastic edge rusher. And I do have him higher on my big board than Mykel Williams. But at the end of the day, it's going to be Monty Ossenfort's decision. So, do a real quick recap. My 5 guys at 16 that I would love the Cardinals to potentially go after: Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan; James Pierce Jr., edge rusher out of Tennessee; Josh Simmons, offensive lineman out of Ohio State; Jalen Walker, edge/linebacker out of Georgia; or Mykel Williams, edge rusher out of Georgia as well. So those are going to be my top 5 I would love the Arizona Cardinals to potentially go after. Now, I do have my guy Trevor in the super chat. He does say, hope to get an edge to learn from Sweats. Trevor, appreciate the $2 donation, my guy, and I do agree. I hope the Cardinals don't veer away from going after an edge rusher. I hope so. That's the only thing I can hope. I hope that the Arizona Cardinals don't veer away from sorry. So yeah, I hope the Cardinals don't veer away from going after an edge rusher. I hope not. I get we got a lot of players in this year's free agency class with Calais, Dalvin, Josh Sweat, but Dalvin and Calais are only a 2-year project or experiment, right? Or not even an experiment, but they're only going to be with us for 2 years. How much more is Calais going to play, right? I guess if he's doing it at a high level, he can keep playing, but do we really see him coming in the NFL for 3 more years? Probably not, right? And then on top of that, you got Dalvin. We got him a 2-year deal. And then you got Josh Sweat on a 4-year deal, but he's going to be 30, right, in the back end of the contract. So I hope the Cardinals still do go edge to learn from a potential Josh Sweat and potentially getting that tandem that we never really ever had, right? The last best edge rusher we had on this team was Chandler Jones. Man, that feels like forever ago. That feels like forever ago for the Arizona Cardinals. So I would love to get a tandem. And I don't know, Mykel, James Pierce, Jalen Walker would be absolutely fantastic for me. I would absolutely love nothing more than to get something like that, right? So those are going to be my top 5 at 16 here for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I want to let you guys know this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know how you're feeling in the chat with this, because another mock draft yesterday came out. And guess who it was? Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft came out yesterday. Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft came out yesterday. Okay? Now, what am I trying to say, right? Okay, Mike, okay, who cares his mock draft came out? Guess who they had the Arizona Cardinals going at 16? Guess. Guess. If you don't know who this picture is, then you're probably not following the draft very, very closely. Daniel Jeremiah had the Arizona Cardinals going Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver out of Ohio State. What is going on? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what the Cardinals are going to do. My 5 right now, and comparing to Gambo's 5, right? Gambo had Nolan, Banks, Simmons, who else was it? Williams and Booker, right? Those are his 5. My 5 I would love the Cardinals to go after or my prediction is Will Johnson, James Pierce Jr., Josh Simmons, Jalen Walker, and Michael, right? If they fall, right? Obviously, if they fall. But Daniel Jeremiah from the Move the Sticks podcast just came out yesterday, put his final mock draft, and he gave us Emeka Egbuka. Okay, I'm not gonna come out here and say I don't want Emeka Egbuka, because I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why I'm leaving everything. When I'm telling you guys, there's a 5 to 10% chance that the wide receiver could potentially be, right? There's at least a 5% chance that the Cardinals can go wide receiver here. Do I want them to go wide receiver? Well, I mean, it just depends on who it is. I love Emeka Egbuka. I love Emeka Egbuka. I don't know how much times I can say this for the people in the back. I love Emeka Egbuka. Now, would the Cardinals go after a wide receiver? I don't know. It doesn't feel like they will, right? But Daniel Jeremiah has to know something, right? And then you had multiple people on ESPN mocking Matthew Golden to the Cardinals. So this isn't the first time the Cardinals have gotten a wide receiver mocked to them. This is not the first time. So I want to be very, very clear. Daniel Jeremiah either A, is really, really trying to piss off this Arizona Cardinal fan base, or B, knows something that we don't know, right? And being the fact that he mocked Emeka Egbuka to us, I don't know, that leaves a little bit of excitement. That leaves a little meat on the bone for obviously us to talk about some things. But it's pretty fascinating. But it just proves, man. It proves. It proves. It proves that nobody knows what the Cardinals are going to do. That's what it proves, right? Now, I did see a tweet that came out a little earlier today from Ian Rappaport, and you better bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to make sure that I have all my notifications on X and Twitter, because that's where all the news really comes from. But Ian Rappaport's coming out and saying the Jaguars poised to explore a bold move. Are they the team to watch heading into tonight? Are we going to see a potential trade up with the Jaguars? Are the Jaguars potentially going to trade up for a potential getting themselves a Travis Hunter? Man, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We got my guy Adam Bombing in the chat with the super chat, man. Thank you so very much. Another $5 donation coming our way. Thank you so very much for the super chat. He says this: what's your opinion on maybe taking Egbuka at 16? Okay, I promise you, I did not read this super chat before I was talking about this. Egbuka at 16, because a lot of people's mocks, they have him as being the 3rd or 4th wide receiver off the board. I'm going to be real here. I'm going to be real. I've been talking about Emeka Egbuka, and if you guys haven't really been following my like draft videos, and I get it, right? Like I feel like it depends on who you're talking to, but there's, for the most part, most people are excited about free agency than they are about the draft, right? Because there's so much unknown with the draft, and a lot of people really have to do a lot of research when it comes down to the draft. I've always liked Emeka Egbuka from the jump. I've always liked Emeka Egbuka from the jump. I feel like he was my favorite wide receiver. I feel like he could have been potentially a number 1 wide receiver. Not in this draft, but like for what the Cardinals can very well use in this offense, Emeka Egbuka and Luther Burton might be the best secret weapons that we need, right? I love Emeka. I think Emeka Abuka is great. I think he's going to be a really good player. I don't think he's ever going to be a wide receiver number one, but I think he could be a solid wide receiver number two. But guess what? We don't need a wide receiver number one. We need a solid wide receiver number two. Or no, I'm sorry, not even that. We need a solid. We need a three. We need a three. We need a solid number three. I do have faith that Michael Wilson is going to take that step, that next step. I'm hoping for 700, 800 yards. I want him to break away from the 500-yard seasons that he's had, and let's break away from that and get you 700, 800 yards under your belt. But adding a Emeka Buka would be absolutely brilliant. It would be brilliant for the Cardinals to do something like that. But it's also going to be another big question. What are the Cardinals going to do with this run-heavy offense, right? Why get a wide receiver if you're not going to utilize them, right? So are we going to see an adjustment to, you know, Drew Petzing's offense? Are we going to start seeing more 55% run and 45% passing, right? Are we going to stop, like, kind of veer away a little bit from the run heavy offense? Is that what's going to happen? I mean, we heard Kyler Murray saying that he wants to run the ball more, right? He wants to use his legs more. Well, good, right? There was that interview that came out with Brian Schottenheimer, the new head coach of the Cowboys, talking to former offensive lineman or offensive line coach of the Cardinals, Clayton Adams. And Clayton Adams told him that Kyler Murray sometimes said he didn't want to run that week, right? And of course, I think that kind of made Kyler now come out and said, yeah, I'll run more. I'll run more. So if the Cardinals go after Emeka Abuka, I wouldn't be mad at it. I think there's a very slim chance it happens. I'm going to be real. I don't think it's a real possibility that it's going to happen. But if it does, I'll be cool with it. But the Cardinals might have to change up their offense a bit, right? They're going to have to toss the ball around a lot more. So great question. Great question. Right now, the consensus is McMillan is probably going to be the first wide receiver taken. And Golden might be number two, right? Golden, Emeka. I don't know. Luther Burton is his draft stock's kind of going up a little higher. So I don't know. It really depends on what you're looking for, right? It depends on what that team is looking for specifically. But yeah, man, I love Emeka Buka. I do. I really do love Emeka Buka. But like I said, there's going to need to be an adjustment on that offensive side of the ball if they do go after an Emeka. Do I think that's a slight possibility? I would say a 5% chance, and that's probably very, very, very slim for it to happen. I think the Cardinals will go trenches. If not, cornerback, right? I think that will be what the Cardinals are going to do more than anything. But if T-Mac does fall, that's going to be very interesting. Like, this draft is so unpredictable. I don't think anybody really knows exactly what's going to happen, right? I don't think anybody really knows exactly what's going to happen. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah. So, yeah. Wide receiver still being mocked at 16 for the Arizona Cardinals. The most recent guy that mocked a wide receiver to the Cardinals is going to be none other than Daniel Jeremiah from Move the Sticks podcast. But this is going to basically go back to what I was talking a little earlier, right? So much unknown at 16. Nobody knows, man. Nobody knows. You can sit and listen. You can sit and look at all these mock drafts. I don't think anybody truly knows. Let's dive into what the Arizona Cardinals draft strategy is heading into this year's draft class. If you do not know, Monty Osifort and Jonathan Gannon did hold a press conference last week talking all things draft. There's a lot of good questions being asked his way, and let's go and dive right into what his draft strategy is and draft needs, right? Let's first talk about draft needs because they did get a lot of defensive linemen in this year's free agency class. This is how the Cardinals are going to approach the defensive line.
I learned a long time ago that, what is perceived as a need or maybe not as a need 1 year, and fast forward 3, 4, 5 months later or a year later, all of a sudden it is a need. And so, injuries happen in this game, player movement that happens from year to year. So, I think no matter where it is, if we can add an impact player and we can add that checks boxes for us both on and off the field, it's never going to be a bad pick. So, regardless of who we added, who we didn't add, we're just looking for good players and good people. And if we do that, we're going to be all right.
And that's the thing. He's always said that. Monty Ossenfort's always said he's looking for great players and good people, right? And when I hear that, I probably don't hear James Pierce Jr., but it's okay. I'm still going to stick to my guns. I'm still going to have him in my top 5 because I love James Pierce Jr. I think he's going to be a really, really good player in the NFL. So, but it's a big hurdle. It's a big hurdle. So the Cardinals don't go after him. I get it. I 100% get it, but I still do think he's going to be a really good player. So talking about obviously the draft needs, he hit the nail on the head, man. Like a need can vary from week to months to days, like from day to day, from week to week, from month to month. Like draft need or needs in general can be very injuries are a real big thing in the NFL. So I love the idea that he's cognizant of the idea that, hey man, let's go in here with the fresh eyes and let's see who falls. Can the Cardinals potentially trade up? Like, there might be a real world where Mason Graham could be available at 8 or 9. Like, there could be a real world where Mason Graham, which was coveted to be one of the best defensive linemen, right? Interior defensive linemen in this draft, he could potentially fall, right? He could potentially fall, especially if Sanders gets picked up in the top 10, especially if Genty goes in the slot of Mason Graham, right? There's some real potential falling of Mason Graham. So maybe the Cardinals can trade up, right? So like here's another question that was asked about like draft picks, right? Like how are you coming into this trying to get more draft picks? And this is the way that Monty Ossenfort had to or answered this.
Craig, no, I've never gone into a draft saying I want to trade back, I want to trade up. Like I think it truly is a matter of opportunity. So, like we'll see what happens. And I think it just comes down to weighing offers if we get offers and weighing that versus. Hey, if we're gonna be ready to pick a player every time our number's called, and then it's a gamble. Like if you get a call and there's an offer to move back, then you got to weigh that. Hey, we may lose out on the player that we want here. Is it worth it? Hey, like what's the cost of jumping up to go get a guy? So, I've never gone into these last 2 drafts. We've never gone in saying, hey, we gotta move back here. We want more picks. Like it's really we take it as it comes, and we'll see what presents itself next weekend.
I love it, man. I love it. And that's the thing. Like there's a big difference between this year's draft compared to the last regime's draft. And I don't mean to keep harping on the idea that, oh, we're constantly talking about the last regime, right? And that's the thing to like, I get it. But I'm gonna be real here. I got a lot of confidence in this front office. I got a lot of confidence that the Arizona Cardinals front office knows exactly what the heck they're doing. I have all the confidence that they're going to know what the heck they're doing. Like Monty Ossenfort is going to cook something up. Like, and even if it's a trade up from 16, although I feel like it depends who falls though, right? Like if the Cardinals trade up to get the guy they really like, the Cardinals trade back, or if they trade back up in the first round, right? And that would be exciting. Like if the Cardinals did trade up back into the first round to get themselves, like let's say for example, a Josh Simmons if he falls, right? Or a James Pierce Jr., right? That would be absolutely magnificent, right? That would be absolutely magnificent here for the Arizona Cardinals. But that's just obviously things to talk about. But I do believe that this front office knows exactly what they're doing. And the way that they respond to a lot of these questions, we're in good hands, man. We're in good hands. For years to come, we're in good hands. We're in good hands. So far, Monty Ossenfort has really made me a believer in this last offseason, going Josh Sweat, Dalvin, bringing Calais back. It's a good thing, man. I'm really excited about it. Now, let's listen into the draft strategy, right? The draft strategy, how the Cardinals are going to approach the draft strategy of the 2025 season.
Yeah, Josh, I would say this. I would say, I see reports and we're meeting with this player, we're talking to this guy, and quite frankly, I don't know where sometimes these things are coming from, and so so like I don't know how much to really put into. We track that stuff, and so but like if I look at a report and says Team X is met, like honestly, I don't know if I can trust that. So. I don't know how much there truly is to sending up smoke screens and that. Maybe sometimes that some teams do that. It's not something that we've really been involved with. But there's a lot of reports out there about a lot of stuff. So,
AKA don't believe what you hear on the internet. AKA, do not believe everything you hear on the internet, right? There's a reason why mock drafts there's a dime a dozen, right? And one person is going to be crowned, "Oh, you knew exactly what the Cardinals are going to do," right? And it was probably a very, very well, great, educated guess at the end of the day. Like that's probably what it came down to. Like somebody's going to be right. Not everybody. One person's going to be right here in the 2025 NFL draft, but for the most part, man, ain't nobody know what happens at 16. Ain't nobody's going to know what happens at 16. We can only guess and estimate, but at the end of the day, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what Monty Ossenfort's going to cook up. This is going to be a very, very, very exciting draft. Honestly, I'm actually just more intrigued on what happens in the first 15. Like, I'm excited what happens in the first 15 for the Arizona Cardinals. Like, I'm being real here, right? What happens in the first 15, and then the Cardinals are on the clock. The latest draft buzz that we've been hearing is that there is several teams in the top 10 that want to trade back. That there's several teams in the top 10 that want to trade back. What does that mean? Right? What does that mean? But there's a lot of teams that don't want to, because a lot of people value those second rounders, right? First round is going to be flashy. The second round and third round is what you really also got to hit, right? A lot of people kind of don't really focus too much on day 2, but those day 2 picks are important. So maybe the Cardinals do drop back from 16 to somewhere in the 20s, right? Accumulate another third round pick. Maybe go after another swing. But I'm always going to go back to the same thing. It depends on who falls, man. It depends who's sitting there. Who's sitting there at 16? Who's the highest player on your draft board? And if he's there, maybe you take a swing. You do not know the Cardinals right now have 6 picks in the 2025 NFL draft. Right now we have 6 picks. And guess what? The 49ers, our division rivals, they got a lot. Let me take a look to see how much they got. Via Tankathon, if we take a look at one of our division rivals, obviously the San Francisco 49ers, right now sitting at 11, they got 11 picks. 11 picks right now the 49ers got. That's an insane amount of picks they got. They got 11, 43, 75, 100, 113, 138, 147, 160, 227, 249, and 252. 3 of them are in the 200s, but they got a lot of picks. 11 total. That's crazy. Now, the Seattle Seahawks. There's rumors that the Seattle Seahawks can trade out of the first round. Is that going to happen? We don't know. But right now, they're standing with 10 picks. They're sitting with 10 picks right now, and there's rumors that they could potentially trade back. They have 18, 50, 52, 82, 92. They got They got 1 first rounder, 2 second rounders, and 2 third rounders. Nuts. And they can accumulate more draft picks as they go. The Rams, there's rumors that the Rams can trade back. There's rumors that the Rams can go quarterback with their first rounder, right? But right now they're sitting with 9 picks, and the Cardinals got 6. So it's very, very important to hit at least those top 3 picks. It's important. The Cardinals we need to hit at least 3 of those picks. Absolutely important. We got to get starters, and it's very, very important to get those starters in this year's draft class. So I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. Let's take a look at your some questions here in the chat. We got Juan in the chat saying, Kenneth Grant hype just gone. Yeah, it's what it feels like. And here's the thing: if the Cardinals go Kenneth Grant, I'm cool with it as well. But to me, he's not in my. I've always liked. So here's the thing: like, there's a lot of prospects I like in this draft class. But my top 5 guys that I would love the Cardinals to go at 16, Grant is not on there. But if he's there and we get him, I'm going to find a way to absolutely love it, right? I'm going to find a way. I'm trusting Monty in his vision. So that's all I got to say. But right now, he's not in my top 5 at 16 right now. And it's just a prediction, right? Everybody's going to have their top 5 at 16. We saw Gambo 5 a little earlier today. We ended up discussing that as well. And he just went absolute trenches, right? to me, I think cornerback is something you can throw in there as well, but I did favor trenches as well. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Angel in the chat says, when does the draft start? 5 p.m. Arizona time. 5 p.m. Arizona time. Now, there is the Jaguars right now seems to be the talk of, I'm not going to say the town, but the talk of the NFL right now. There's some people out there that truly believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to use their 5th overall pick on Nash and Genty. But there's also some rumors out there that they can potentially trade up to the number 2 spot and get themselves Hunter. Now, would Cleveland allow that? I don't know, man. Cleveland sometimes does some pretty wacky things, right? We don't know what Cleveland's going to do. We don't know. We don't know what Cleveland's going to do. Cleveland, at one point, a lot of people were mocking Shador Sanders over to Cleveland. I don't think Shador is going to want to go there. I don't think Primetime wants him to go to the Browns. So a lot of people stopped mocking Shador to Cleveland, which kind of now has it. Is he going 3, right? If Shador goes 3, my board stays good, right? Then my prediction hopefully comes into fruition. But if he doesn't go 3 and it's actually Abdul Carter, it makes sense. It's just, where does Shador go there, right? Where does Shador go then? So a lot of intrigue, man. A lot of intrigue. A lot of intrigue. I'm just excited about what happens in the first 15 picks. That's going to be the most exciting thing here for me. Hebe says the day 2 picks in this year's draft have high value. Absolutely. And I think that's one of the main reasons why you're not seeing a lot of trades right now. Well, granted, you don't usually see trades until draft day unless it's somebody trying to get into like the top 3, right? Usually you see those trade ups happen before the draft, but all the other movements usually happens during draft day because obviously people want to see how the board falls, right? Monty Osifar wants to see how the board falls, right? You're not going to trade back to 22 if you have your guy ranked number 3 sitting there at 16, right? You're not going to do that. So the Cardinals are going to be a very, very stick to their board type of team, and I'm cool with it, man. I think it's gonna be a really good. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. Right now we have over 100 of you guys here on the YouTube side. Thank you guys so much for being here, by the way. If you could do me a huge favor, smack up the like button right now. We're sitting with 44 likes. Let's see if we can hit, let's get crazy. Let's hit 75 likes on this live stream right now. It is draft day. Do it for draft day. Do it for what the heck are the Arizona Cardinals going to do? Smack up the like button, especially if you're watching me like this on your phone. Smack it up, turn it that way, and go ahead and punch that like button and enjoy the show. But yeah, let's see if we can hit 75 likes by the time we end this live stream. But yeah, we're dedicating this specific stream, and we will be live on, I believe, 4:30 today, talking all things NFL draft, leading up to the draft, leading up to the 16th overall pick for the Cardinals if they do decide to stay there. So smack up the like button, come back, and yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. RC3, what's up, buddy? He says the real gems for wide receiver is late day 2 and day 3. It's endless. I'm curious, RC3, who do you got at those gems at the end, if you don't mind me asking? Who do you got those late gems in wide receivers if the Cardinals don't go wide receiver at 16, which, like I said, right, the only reason why we say that as much as we do on this channel is because there's a lot of mock drafts mocking wide receivers to the Cardinals, right? And it's just proof that nobody knows. Nobody knows what the Cardinals are going to do, right? The latest guy that was mocked to the Cardinals was Emeka Egbuka, right? At 16. Daniel Jeremiah from Move the Sticks podcast has the Cardinals going on Emeka Egbuka. So, like, that's the reason why we talk about wide receiver so much. And that's why I always leave it as here's a 5 to 10% chance, right? That the Cardinals go wide receiver. I do think they're going to go trenches, but I also do like the idea of the Cardinals going Will Johnson if they do have the option there. But I get the concerns that come along. So my question to you guys is, if there is a wide receiver in the 2nd round or 3rd round, who do you want the Cardinals to go after, right? Who's going to be that guy that you want the Arizona Cardinals to potentially get in the later part of the draft? Because I do think that the Cardinals need to go. I think the Cardinals absolutely need to get a wide receiver in this year's draft. They have to. They can't run it back with the same wide receiving core. They can't. They can't. They can't do it. Classy nasty up here. Bo Callahan. Yeesh. Bo Callahan. My goodness. Shout out here to one of the best football movies out there, especially draft football movies. Draft Day. Absolutely good movie. I ended up seeing it again 2 days ago. Great movie. Bo Callahan. Sheesh. Here we go. We got some people coming in here with a few different predictions here. We got my guy Hebe in the chat saying draft crush is Zach Besh. Cool. I do like him as well. Tez Johnson. This is my guy, man. This is I get the small frame. I get the Arizona Cardinals. Have not met with them, but I do like Besh. And I do like Tez Johnson as well. Interesting. Give me 1 second here. Brees Hall. Oh, man. Sorry, something just happened. So there was a tweet that came out here from Josina Andrew. Oh, no, it wasn't her. Was it? No, it wasn't her. I'm so sorry. It's not her. Who was it? So I just saw a tweet right now that kind of got my attention. Where'd it go? Yeesh. Here we go. Oh, it is Josina. Okay, it is Josina. Okay, Josina. So there was a tweet that was put out from, I believe, Josina Anderson, if I can remember correctly. Let me see if I could find the tweet. Here it is. Okay. 18 minutes ago, Josina Anderson ended up tweeting this notebook. League sources tell me they've heard about the potential availability of the Jets running back Brees Hall within the last week and a half. And that's not it. That's not what I want to talk about. Apparently, I think Brees Hall either retweeted it, I'm assuming. Oh, well, I guess that doesn't really make sense. I mean, 2 hours ago, he put. I don't know. I'm just looking too much into it. You're gonna get a lot of. Okay, maybe the timelines doesn't make sense. Never mind. But yeah, let's continue to talk about the wide receivers. Any other wide receivers you guys think as gems in the top 2 or 3? Don't worry about what I just said. Kevin Price says Tez Johnson. I do love Tez Johnson as well. RC3, I saw you up there. Where'd you go? Here we go. RC3 says DeAndre Lambert Smith from Auburn, Tez Johnson out of Oregon, Isaiah Bond out of Texas, and Ty Felton. Let me ask you, do you think the Cardinals will go Isaiah Bond after the off the field issue that happened? Do you? I don't know. I love Tez. I liked Isaiah Bond. It's just I don't think the Cardinals are going to go that route, just because obviously the off the field issues that's currently going on. But yeah, here we go. I mean, we got my guy RC3 with some potential sleepers at the wide receiving core. Absolutely love it. Let's keep it on. Thoughts on Jahad Campbell? I like him. I think he's the best linebacker in this year's draft class, no doubt. And I know he's another guy that was mocked to the Cardinals here pretty recently. A lot of people as 1 second here. Here you go. Another super chat coming our way. Appreciate you, Carlos. Thank you so very much. Carlos in the chat says Golden at 16 through 19. We need a speed wide receiver at slots. Yeah. I agree. I mean, okay. Yeah, no, I agree. And that's the thing, too. I like Matthew Golden as well. Like, and I apologize that I was getting a few texts, personal life stuff, nothing to do with football. But yeah, I do like Golden as well. It's just I don't think it fits unless the plan is to move Michael Wilson to the slot, right? But he's not really that speedy guy that you're looking for. But yeah, that's probably one of the main reasons why you're starting to see like Emeka Buka now kind of coming out of nowhere, right? Because if you don't know what I'm talking about, Emeka Buka was just mocked over to the Arizona Cardinals by Daniel Jeremiah, right? Daniel Jeremiah from Move the Six podcast released his final mock draft yesterday, and he's got the Cardinals going Emeka Buka. But Peter Schrager got the Cardinals going Jahdae Barron. You know what I mean? So all of these guys that are putting out their, their predictions out there, ain't nobody know, man. Ain't nobody know. The Cardinals are so unpredictable, y'all. So unpredictable. Sarah in the chat says, we need a QB. Good Lord. Where's my Sarah in the chat over here try to start a war in the Arizona sports fan chat here. We're just gonna bypass that one. Appreciate the comment, Sarah. Let's move on over here to my guy Chaz with a $5 donation. Thank you so very much. Appreciate the super chat, my guy. He says this: pick Nolan at 16, trade up for Pierce Jr. at 22, offensive guard Savanea at 47, cornerback Colby Bryant, 3rd or 4th round, and Scat at 4. Yeesh. You got yourself a 4-round mock draft over here, Chaz. Huh. You sold me with the James Pierce Jr. You sold me with the James Pierce Jr., my guy. You sold me with James Pierce. Here's the thing. The Arizona Cardinals right now, right? And I don't know how much I got to stress this, man. I see a lot of people on the internet, like, with mock drafts. I love the difference of opinions. I love them, honestly, because it gives you a chance to say, okay, that's cool. That's a good idea. Okay, cool. And there's some of them, they're like, wait, what the heck? Like, what is going on? I love the opinions, honestly. I love that we're starting to get this new group of the fan base coming in here and being so engaged in what the NFL draft is, right? Because, man, so many years have we gotten just to the point where, like, I don't know, man, this Cardinal fan base, like, as long as the Arizona Cardinals continue to win consistently, your fan base will back you 110%. I think we got a pretty good loyal fan base. I don't think we got the biggest fan base, but I think we got a pretty loyal fan base. But you win consistently, they'll come around, man. I'm excited. I'm glad there's so many opinions out there because I love hearing all the difference of opinions out there. And there's a lot, man. There's a lot. We got Jordan Schultz here putting something about Shedeur Sanders. Jordan Schultz tweeted about an hour ago, and he said, spoke to a high-level NFL executive today about the draft and came away with a lot of respect for this one thing he said. Quote, the anonymous negative quotes that pop up every year. Total garbage. If you've got something to say, put your name on it or keep it in-house. Every team has access to similar intel. Nobody's dumb enough to read a tweet and suddenly pull a guy off their board. This is supposed to be a celebration for these players, the biggest weekend of their lives, and instead some people try to torpedo them for clout. Enough already. It's embarrassing for the league. Yeah, I mean, although I agree, I thought it was going to be something more with Shedeur because Shedeur was actually on the picture. So let me move past. I don't really know what I read there. Okay, but I mean, I do agree. I don't think GMs should be looking at tweets. I don't think they do, or at least I don't think Monty Ossenfort does. Monty Ossenfort's a brilliant man. Ain't no way he's jumping on the AZ Sports Fan podcast and saying, "Oh, he likes James Pierce Jr. We love James Pierce Jr. too." No, I don't think Monty Ossenfort does anything like that at all, and I don't expect him to. Right? And I don't expect any players to jump on here and say, this guy talks all sorts of smack during the season, right? No, I don't think no. Leave all the talk to the podcasters. Leave all that stuff to the media. Y'all worry about y'all stuff. Y'all way more smarter than anybody with the microphone. You cook up something good, Monty Ossenfort will back it. That's all I got to say. 110%. Let's move on over to RC3 with another $5 donation. You guys are absolutely generous for today. Thank you so very much. I think there's just a lot of excitement amongst the air with Cardinal fans and just the NFL being around the corner. And appreciate you guys for being here. And obviously, thank you so much for the super chats. Do me a huge favor. If you guys can do me a favor, smack the like button. We have not hit the 75 like goal yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So smack the like button. Appreciate you guys for being here. RC3 with the super chat says, I will not waste a first-round pick on a wide receiver when he's only going to be a third wide receiver. Give me a front line, O-line, and trade Jonah for his replacement. Ooh. Huh. 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 What? Why don't we keep Jonah and still get his replacement? Because I just don't think Jonah's got any value right now. I don't think Jonah Williams has got any value. Like, I mean, we might get a late round pick back for him, and that might be what happens here, right? That might be what happens. Like, we might get a late round pick back. Heck, it might not even be in 2025. It might be in 2026. I think just keep him. For Jonah, I say keep him. Like, if there's something that can take away from him being on the team, maybe he can help mold how to be a professional to a young guy, right? Maybe that could be his service for the Cardinals, right? Like, that may be what we can take away from it. So, I'd say keep him. Personally, I would say keep a Jonah Williams. But yeah, I say draft his replacement. I do like Jonas Zevanea out of Arizona. I feel like he would be a dynamite pickup if the Cardinals do go that direction. But I definitely understand where you're coming from when he says don't pick up a wide receiver when he's only going to be your number 3, right? But we have seen number 3 wide receivers on paper, slot wide receivers, right? That are freaking fantastic in the NFL, right? Imagine having your wide receiver 1 on the outside and Marvin Harrison Jr. and getting a dog slot wide receiver, although on paper is listed as the number 3, but is probably number 3 option outside of, after McBride and after Marv. Like, I don't know. There's something about Emeka, but I understand where you're coming from too. Like, I don't disagree with what you're saying, right? Like, if the Cardinals go wide receiver and he's a slot guy, the Cardinals need to change up their offense. They need to. They need to change it. They cannot be going in a run heavy offense when you used a 16th overall pick on a wide receiver. So I do agree with you there. So appreciate the super chat, man. Appreciate the super chat. 10 million off the books. Javier in the chat says, as a sports fan, when do we get Dart? Yeesh. So if you guys do not know what my guy Javier is saying, I've been a big fan of Jackson Dart. A big fan of Jackson Dart. And this is even before, this might be a little bit before free agency as well. And obviously way before the draft as well. Jackson Dart has always been a guy that I really do like. And of course, because I kind of got on the train of maybe getting a mid-round or a late-round quarterback, all the NFL got in the same train, and they're like, oh, Jackson Dart could be a first-round pick. And heck, why the heck not? Jackson Dart can be a first-round pick. So Jackson Dart's dreams of potentially the Cardinals landing him in the 4th, 5th round, that's not even attainable anymore. No. So we will not be getting Jackson Dart. The Cardinals might not even draft a quarterback with 6 picks, right? So, yeah, I think the Cardinals right now are going to go all in with the current quarterback state that they have. And we're gonna see how it all shakes out. We're gonna see how it all shakes out. There's rumors out there that Milroe might, or at least there's intrigues with the Rams and Milroe. I don't want to see Milroe with the Rams just because of Sean McVay. I would hate to see that. Jackson Dart, there's rumors that he might be a first-round pick. And Shador, obviously, I think he's still going to be a first-rounder, whether he slips or not. And, of course, Cameron Ward is going to be a first overall, right? At least that's the consensus right now. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. There is a lot of talk right now back and forth. I think the biggest team that is being talked about is probably the Jaguars. Because going after Genti, if they do go after Genti with the 5th overall pick, that means Mason Graham is going to fall, right? Do the Cardinals make an opportunity and jump and get themselves a Mason Graham? I don't know. We'll see. But we right now are 6 hours away. Ladies and gentlemen, put the alarm on. We are 6 hours away from the NFL draft. Wow. 6 hours away from the NFL draft. If we're not seeing any fire emoji up here in the comments below, I don't know what to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. We are 6 hours away from the NFL draft, and this is going to be fun, man. This is going to be fun. I need to get some graphics going. I need to get some graphics going with obviously the draft, because I have some graphics that I want to kind of put up for the players that get drafted. So super, super excited about it. If you guys do not know, or if you guys are just joining the chat, appreciate you guys for being here. Subscribe if this is your first time here. And also smack the like button. Definitely do me that huge favor if you could do that huge favor. But we did take a look at the Gambo 5, which if you guys do not really follow Arizona sports very often, then you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But Gambo did go ahead and release his Gambo 5 yesterday, which honestly, I do think it's a really good Gambo 5, completely trench heavy. He had Tyler Booker, Kelvin Banks Jr., Josh Simmons, Walter Nolan, and then Michael Williams. I did give you my prediction as well. My prediction of players that I would love to see go in the top 16 for the Cardinals. My prediction is going to be Will Johnson, James Pierce Jr., Josh Simmons, Jalen Walker, and Michael Williams. But like I said, it just really depends, man. It depends who falls. At the end of the day, it depends who falls. So we'll see. We'll see. Daniel Jeremiah did mock Emeka Egbuka to the Cardinals. Now, of course, that is bringing intrigue to the Cardinal fan base. There's a portion of Cardinals that want a wide receiver. They just don't want to come out and say they want a wide receiver because they don't want people to kind of grill them. But honestly, you could put it on my chat. I won't grill you. I won't grill you. I hope the Cardinals do go after a wide receiver in this year's draft. Doesn't need to be the first round. Like if Emeka Egbuka somehow falls to the late part of the first round, or Luther Burton falls to the late part of the first round, or James Pierce Jr. falls to the late part of the first round, I would love Monty Ossenfort to cook something up and move up. Like I would love nothing more than that. Like get yourself the guy that is high on your draft board, whether that is Josh Simmons, whether that is Walter Nolan, whether that is anybody else you have high on your draft board, right? But if you do a trade back for somebody that falls, man, that would be absolutely lovely, man. That would be absolutely lovely. I would love nothing more than that. We got my guy, Shadow. What's up, Shadow? Appreciate the $2 donation. He says, tight end as a slot wide receiver, it strengthens run and passing game. I mean, we do have heavier packages, right? So, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if the Cardinals do go after a wide receiver, they better change up their offense a bit, right? They better change up their offense a bit. Because obviously, if you're a run heavy offense, you probably shouldn't use your 16th overall pick on a wide receiver if you're not going to utilize them to their best of abilities, right? So, 1 second here. All right, appreciate the super chat, Shadow. Let me see if there's anything else. Uncanny in the chat says Gambo 5 usually one is yeah, exactly, 100%. And that's why I do like to talk about the Gambo 5 because legit, man, he's pretty spot on, man. He's pretty spot on. I know he's gotten a lot of flack from a lot of the newer Cardinal fans that don't like the radio or maybe haven't grown up listening to him. I grew up listening to it, so I have a found respect for what they do over there. And yeah, I mean, I agree. He does predict it pretty darn good, man. He does predict it pretty darn good. So what he said was that he's rolling out wide receiver and he's rolling out James Pierce Jr. And he's rolling out Shamar Stewart as well. I think they gave you his receipts here in 2017. Gamble predicted Buda Baker to the Cardinals. 2018, Gamble predicted that Josh Rosen would be the only quarterback the Cardinals would move up for, and then they got Josh Rosen. Whether that's not his. He just relaying the information. 2020, he predicted Isaiah Simmons to the Cardinals. In 2021, Gamble predicted Zaven Collins to the Cardinals, which I did too. Well, I didn't predict, but I did give that information out as well. Yeah. So for what it's worth. There we go. Right. There we go. So we all know what happened in that other draft where the Cardinals unfortunately used a first round pick for Hollywood. I still don't like that first round pick for Hollywood Brown personally, but we'll see. Get that Loveland guy. I see where you're going. I don't think the Cardinals will go tight end. Like you just imagine how crazy this fan base would go, especially when you just made Trey McBride the highest paid tight end in the NFL. And then you go out there and use the 16th overall pick on, like, let's say, for example, a Loveland, right? Or let's say, for example, use the uh, on any other. I know they're going to be beasts, right? But we're already struggling with providing targets, so I don't know. I don't think Loveland's going to be the guy. But I see where your mind's going, though. I see where your mind's going. Juan says, can't wait for the draft. Absolutely, I can't wait either. We will be live. We will be live during the draft. So if you guys do not have a place to go, or if it's too hot for you to go to the Great Lawn, because I know there's a lot of Cardinal fans going to the Great Lawn because obviously they announced the pick over there and it's this whole big festivity. If you're not going there, if you don't have any friends that are football fans and you want to have a place to go, we will be live at 4:30 p.m. where the draft starts at 5 o'clock. Today. So we will be live during the first round of the draft, reacting to all the things that happened for the Arizona Cardinals. We'll be hopefully opening up some things up. We're just going to chill. We're going to hang out, have a good time, and overall, just chillax. I'm excited. Higgins is a good backup tight end. I do agree. I do like our tight end core right now, although I would love to see a little bit more from Tip Ryman, especially using a third-round pick for Tip Ryman. I would love to see a little bit more from Tip, but maybe the next year, maybe this next year he's going to take that jump. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's keep reading up the chat here. Kevin says, I'll be here for the draft. Let's go. Appreciate it. Angel says, beef up that D-line. I agree. Big Bird. What's up, Big Bird? Wouldn't mind Benjamin Morrison in the second or third round, depending if we trade back for more picks. He would have been a first rounder if he didn't get hurt. Sure worked out with Garrett Williams. And that's the thing too, right? Like when you're looking at like comps, we always want to look at what's something that we can compare to, right? And that's the thing, man. Like I was so excited that the Cardinals got Garrett Williams, man. I was so excited about Garrett Williams because in my mock drafts, I had the Cardinals going Garrett Williams. And of course, when you're right or when your prediction comes to fruition, you like that player even more. But I also did like him at Syracuse, man. I think he did a fantastic job the year before. Unfortunately, he got hurt, right? But he was trending to be a potential first-round pick. And the Cardinals snagged him in third round. The Cardinals also did get a Michael Wilson, which Michael Wilson was another good player as well. I think he's a solid backup. I think he's a solid number 2 wide receiver. Solid. I think he could make some really good plays in the NFL, and we've seen that. So I'm excited, man. Another super chat. Oh, here we go. My guy with a $10 donation. Yeesh. Love it, man. Appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you so very much for obviously the $10 donation. Let me give you the DJ air horn. Yikes, that was louder than I thought it was. So hopefully that did not bust anybody's eardrum. But appreciate the $10 donation. We got Devil 55th in the comments with the $10 donation. He says, I think the Cardinals drafting T-Mac, Terrell McMillan. Wow. Tetroro McMillan. I always have a hard time pronouncing the first name. Yeah, T-Mac. You think? If the Cardinals go wide receiver, this fan base, I just want to sit back and just kind of watch everybody's reaction. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I want to sit back and watch everybody's reaction if they go wide receiver. Here's the thing. I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad if the Cardinals go wide receiver. I really wouldn't. I'm favoring trenches, right? I'm favoring trenches. And then next position, cornerback. And then probably after that, probably would be wide out. Like, I ain't gonna lie, probably would be wide out. But I would love to see everybody get crazy if they do go after it. Or if he does fall. Sheesh. That would be nuts, man. That would be nuts. But appreciate the $10 donation, Devil. I mean, if we're doing mock drafts, and let's say, for example, the Cowboys do like Matthew Golden over McMillan, I can very well see McMillan fall, man. I can definitely very well see McMillan fall. At one point, I was like, there's no way in heck he could. But yeah, I mean, there is a way in heck he could fall. Absolutely, there is a way. We did talk a little earlier about obviously the other draft picks, the other teams within the NFC West has the Rams. There's rumors about the Rams potentially trading back because they got the 26th pick, and then they got a lot of like day 3 picks. Well, not a lot, but they got 2 third rounders, they got a 4th, a 6th, and like a lot of late rounds. So there's rumors out there that the Rams will potentially trade back, but there is also rumors that they can potentially get a quarterback. which I would hate to see Milroe go their way, but that's a possibility. So you got the Rams with 9 picks. You got the 49ers with 11 picks. And I think you got the Seattle Seahawks with 10 picks, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they got picks galore. And then obviously the Cardinals are sitting with 6 right now. I mean, but we had our chance, right? We had our time with the most amount of picks in this last draft class. And, I mean, I think it came out pretty good. Could have been a little bit better. Yeah. But here we go, right? Here we go. We'll have to kind of wait and see how this shakes out. Adrian in the chat says, if we go wide receiver, we have to trade back to get up a defensive player. Yeah. I mean, Sarah in the chat says, how do you donate? There should be like when you're looking at the chat, I think your credit card needs to be linked to YouTube. But there should be a $sign next to the chat, FYI, in case you want to. You don't have to, but yeah, there should be a $sign next to the chat box, and that's how you do it. That little $sign is where you do it. But appreciate you, Sarah, for inquiring about that. My guy Adrian in the chat says, if we do go wide receiver, I hope the Cardinals trade back up to get a defensive player. Okay. Are we going to bring up my dream scenario again? Are we bringing up my dream scenario again, ladies and gentlemen? Is that what we're doing? Dream scenario. Bam. Bam. Dream scenario for me. This would be my dream scenario. Now, I think Will Johnson, we can do a switcheroo if that's something that the Cardinals wanted to do. If they wanted to go after a wide receiver, which, like I said, it's 5%. And the reason why we're talking about this is because people are mocking the wide. I'm not saying the Cardinals are going wide receiver, but we're talking about if, right? It's draft day. Let me have fun. So I'm saying if they go wide receiver, just like my guy Adrian's in the chat said, then you trade back up into getting somebody. I would love the Cardinals to trade back up in front of the freaking Eagles to get themselves James Pierce if he falls. I love James Pierce. I think he's going to be an absolutely outstanding edge rusher. But this is my dream scenario. Will Johnson at 16, James Pierce trade back up to get. Now, if they go wide receiver and shock the world, then I still do hope the Cardinals to trade back up and get themselves James Pierce Jr. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, right? That, like I said, it's just dream scenario. It's just ifs. That's all we're living in the world of ifs. So. Big Bird in the chat says, yeah, I don't see them taking T-Mac. I mean, I don't know, man. I wish I can tell you. I wish I can tell you with utmost confidence that that I know, right? I know. We have a lot of prospects tweeting. We got Jahad Campbell putting up little smiley faces. We got Shador Sanders putting up legendary. And I don't know, I might be the unpopular opinion, or I might be sticking to my guns of what the prior mock drafters were doing. I still do think Shador Sanders has a real chance at New York. I still do think that the Giants. I still do think there's a real chance of Shador Sanders going to the Giants. I do. Jahad Campbell put up some little smiley faces. And of course, when you look at the comments, there's a lot of people kind of saying, "Oh, you're this player or you're that player." Jahad Campbell is going to be a really good player, man. Linebacker, probably the best linebacker in this NFL draft. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. A lot of unpredictability, especially in this year's draft. There's so much unpredictability. I don't know what the heck just happened. One second here. Got to fix this little picture, Rooney. What's going on right here? All right. Okay, so I guess we're just going to switch this up here. I don't know what happened. All right, we'll just switch this back up in this place. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's read a couple comments here. See what you guys are saying here in the chat. We got my guy Uncanny saying T-Mac like a Big Mac. Nothing about a Big Mac. Yeesh. Just because of the Cardinals identity, we run first. I think Shadow maybe said something else here. Okay, so Shadow says, I still think every time I hear wide receiver, we should get a tight end because better at blocker. Fair. Big Bird says James Pierce Jr. is good, pure pass rusher, but he's super rough at setting the edge in the run. More of the second round guy, in my opinion. Really? I mean, let's see, man. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, obviously, I think and that's the thing too. Right? That's a beautiful part, right? That's a beautiful part. Everybody's got different draft boards, right? Everybody's got different opinions of all these prospects. We all see different things. We all got different pairs of eyes, right? We all got different pairs of eyes. So that's the beautiful part, that everybody's got their own opinion on this whole situation. And it's draft day, baby. It's here we go, right? Here we go. Here we go. I don't know if there is a lot of weight to. I'm not sure if you guys saw that whole Brees Hall thing. Brees Hall apparently is like per Josina Anderson. Apparently the Jets were potentially fielding calls on him. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Will you be streaming the draft? Okay, so I will not stream the draft, but I will be streaming during the draft. So yes, so let me clarify. I will not be streaming the draft due to copyright reasons. Now, if you do not have over-the-air antenna, or if you do not have, it should be available on ESPN or ABC, your local ABC, wherever that's at. But yeah, it should be available on your local television. If you do not have that, I will be doing a live stream watch party where we're reacting to all the picks that are happening, right? I'm going to try to get some good graphics and stuff like that get going on my end here. But yeah, we will be reacting to the draft picks. So yeah, we will be we will be streaming during the draft. We won't be showing the draft, but we will be streaming during the draft, reacting to all the picks that are happening. Here we go. We cannot leave a stream without talking about my guy, Cam Scadaboo. Michael in the chat says Cam Scadaboo in the second. Yeesh. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a lot of Cardinal fans getting their heart broken if Cam Scadaboo doesn't go in the second. I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening personally. Mark in the chat says trade back to the 20s, get James Pierce Jr., then trade back up to the 25th to get Josh Simmons. Ooh. Oh, look at Mark over here cooking up some good. Look at that. I love that. Trade back to the 20s, get James Pierce Jr. Trade back up to the 25 to get Josh Simmons. Do what right? Do what the Texans did. Texans got their quarterback, they got back up, and they got themselves Will Anderson Jr. They killed it, man. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Will Anderson Jr., but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Other than the Cardinals, what teams are you paying attention to most? That's a good question. Honestly, all the top five. The top five. I'm paying attention to all the top fives. I think the Arizona Cardinals right now are the most unpredictable team to mock a specific player to. That's one of the main reasons why you're seeing all these mock drafts, and there is just a plethora of different players because nobody knows what the Cardinals are going to get, right? So, like, I'm going to be paying attention to what happens second. The Jaguars are also another team that I'm going to pay attention to as well. The Giants. What are they going to do, right? A lot of teams in the top 10 and top 5 are going to shape what happens in the rest of the rounds, right? Are we going to see a lot of defensive linemen edges fall because of the quarterback run, right? Are we going to see Jackson Dart going top 10, right? Are we going to see Shedeur Sanders fall out of the top 10, right? Like, what's going to happen? So I'm going to be the whole draft. I'm going to be very, very interested. Obviously, the Cardinals are my team. That's why I'm going to follow very, very closely. But yeah, Sarah with a $10 donation. Let's go. Appreciate that. Thank you so very much. I do not see a comment. So if I see a comment from you, Sarah, I will be highlighting that. Thank you so very much for the $10 donation. Absolutely do appreciate it. Big Bird says, I love how unpredictable this entire draft is outside of Cam Ward. Of course. Yeah, absolutely. 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 It brings a level of excitement. It really does. It brings a level of excitement because honestly, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, you can be right, you can be wrong, right? It's okay. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I'm okay with it. I'm absolutely 110% okay with it. Yeah. Sarah, appreciate the super chat. I'm still looking out for a comment. I know this might be one of your first super chats. Appreciate that. But I will be looking out for a comment if you do put something out. Appreciate it. Let's keep it with the chat here. We got my guy CL Oracle. What's up, man? He says, hot take, Cam Scadaboo to the Cards in the second. Second coming of Peyton Hillis / McCaffrey. Dang. So you got Cam Scadaboo going to the Cardinals in the second? Dang, that's high. I mean, he better be all that in a slice of bread, right? He better be the next best thing that if that is the case, man. If that's the case, let's see. Let's see. We do got over 100 of you guys here in this on the YouTube side. Appreciate you guys. We will be live during the draft to cover everything Arizona Cardinals news, all this different stuff. So make sure you do me a favor, smack up the like button. We did hit our 75 like goal. I absolutely do appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate you guys for being here. Brandon, I'm glad you said tomorrow. I'm glad you said tomorrow, not today. CB says if Jalen Walker magically passed number 8 or Carolina, then Cardinals should consider pulling the trigger on him and trading up. I feel like if the Panthers don't go Jalen Walker, another spot he can go to is probably the Falcons. Yeah, I think the Falcons will be a really good spot for him. I think he'll get like slipped away from the Cardinals. So if they do like him a lot, maybe potentially trading up because he was seen to be a top 10 prospect. So we'll see. We'll see. There's some Cardinal fans out there that are kind of a little bit hesitant. No linebacker. But I think Jalen Walker's a different breed, though. He ain't no Isaiah Simmons, man. He's a dog. Literally. He's a dog. Well, I guess not literally, but I mean, because of obviously he plays for the Georgia Bulldogs, or he played for the Georgia Bulldogs, so. There was a rumor out there as well. I'm not sure if you guys seen this. Do you guys see the rumor about Jackson Dart not making it past the Saints? Like, good Lord. Like, I like Jackson Dart myself, too. Like, I love Jackson Dart as a quarterback. I really do. It's just, the first round, like, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy. Jackson Dart, that's crazy. But, hey, I mean, some teams are, they're going to pull the trigger. Let's just hope that they benefit from it. Like, that's all I can say. Loveland and Scadaboo will be a good combo, fun to watch. That'd be that's a combo I don't think I've ever entertained, or not entertained, but like ever thought of. Loveland and Cam Scadaboo, like at 1 and 2. I don't think I've ever thought of that. So that's interesting. I don't think it's gonna happen personally, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's read a couple more comments. Then we're gonna be closing up shop. I still do not see Sarah's comment, but it's okay. Appreciate the latest super chat. Absolutely do. When your last name is Dart, you've got to go first round. Dart, you've got to go first round QB. I mean, here's the thing. The Cardinals aren't in a spot to get a first round quarterback, right? And I've seen some comments already talking about Shedeur Sanders, right? Oh, if the Cardinals have Shedeur there at 16, they got to go for him. I don't think Shedeur is going to be there at 16. I really don't. I think somehow there's going to be a team to trade up. So I don't think the Cardinals are even going to get a chance. And I don't think the Cardinals are even going to go quarterback that high. Was I preaching, should the Cardinals go after a QB in the draft? I was preaching it. But that was before Jacoby Brissett came along, right? That was before the Cardinals made that move. Now, they did work out Tyler Huntley after. So are they trying to still upgrade this quarterback group? We'll see. I mean, we're going to get our answers here pretty soon. The Cardinals right now, or the NFL draft, will be starting less than 6 hours away. Yeah, less than 6 hours away for the NFL draft. Let's go, man. Let's go. Giants will trade up for him. So you're saying you think the Giants will get Abdul Carter at 3 and then trade back up for him? What do the Giants have in draft capital? I have seen some mock drafts that do that. I mean, they got draft capital, and they're probably going to have to, like, depending where he falls too, right? So, like, let's say, for example, they go Abdul Carter at 3 and they do decide to trade up. They're going to have to give up. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they can do it. I mean, they got draft capital. They got a second, a third, 2 3s. Yeah, I mean, they can trade up. I don't think Jackson Dart's going to fall to 4. I don't think Jackson Dart's going to fall to the second round. Yo, Sarah, another one. Oh my goodness gracious. My money's on tackles. First round. Second round, Scattaboo, the AZ monster from ASU, second or third pick. Wow. Wow. Well, thank you so very much for the contribution. I'm gonna have to get that DJ Khaled another one, right? I'm gonna have to put that little sound thing on here on my soundboard. Another one. Appreciate the $30 donation. Absolutely, that's amazing. She comes up and says, "My money is on a tackles first round." So you think you're gonna go trenches offensively, and then in the second or third round, you got Cam Scattaboo. Wow. There you go. I mean, a lot of people in the chat are saying Cam Scattaboo in the second. I'm cool with Scattaboo at 3 if the Cardinals trade back and accumulate another third, personally. Now, if Cam Scattaboo becomes the next best running back out there, and I'm forever going to eat crow, then I'm okay with that as well. But you're going to make a very serious decision here on what you're going to do with Trey Benson. And you're going to make a very serious decision on, obviously, the future of that running back group. Because you used the third round pick on Trey, right? You got James Conner for what, 2 more years? And then maybe Cam Scattaboo can be the future. I don't know, man. That's well, I appreciate the super chat up and foremost. Thank you so very much. We do got somebody on the comments here. I believe is it Malik? What's up, Malik? I noticed Kyler Murray's jerseys are on sale along with former players' jerseys in the team's shop. Are they planning on trading, or is it just for? I think it just sells. I think it sells. I haven't heard anything about it. There was a little bit of rumors out there about Kyler Murray, but they seem to be debunked. And that was during free agency. And right now, it seems like the Cardinals are going to go into 2024 with Kyler Murray being QB1 right now, right? Right now, it seems like they're moving into 2020. I'm sorry, did I say 2024? I'm sorry. They're going to 2025 as Kyler Murray as their QB1 right now. That's what it feels like. Now, we'll see what happens, right? We're all hoping playoffs. That's the next step here for the Arizona Cardinals moving forward. So here we go. Hot take from Sarah and Oracle in the chat. Cam Scattaboo with the second or third round. Wow. All right. Appreciate the super chat. Absolutely do. Let's see here. Let's read a couple more comments, and we're going to be closing up shop. We will be making content throughout the day, so we will be live at 4:30 today, AZ time. Make sure you smack the like button and subscribe, and put your post notification bell on as well, just so you're aware when we go live or when we drop that next video for the future, because, of course, we're going to be following who the Cardinals draft very, very closely, reacting, all those different things for the Cardinals draft picks. So, yeah, make sure you subscribe it up. Absolutely for free. I heard Scattaboo will be picked up before the 16th. No, there's no way. There's no way Cam Scattaboo goes in the first round. There's no way. There's no way. I think Cam Scattaboo will be a third rounder or a fourth round pick. But I'm obviously per Sarah, second round per Sarah. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. No, but I don't think there's no way Cam Scattaboo goes in the first round. Here you go, Zaytalk. There you go. There you go. Tez Johnson. There's something about Tez Johnson. Or Jalen Noel. Anthony in the chat. Yeah, there's something about Tez Johnson or Jalen Noel. So I like them both. I do think the Cardinals are going to go after a slot wide receiver in this year's draft class. Absolutely. All right, let's do this. I will see you guys later on. We are going to continue to obviously cover what thing is going on, any news that happens, if the 49ers drop out of the number 11 spot, if the Seahawks trade back or anything like that. We're going to be covering it before, if it happens before the draft. If it doesn't, then we're going to go right into the draft, going live at 4:30. We will be sprinkling some content here throughout the day as well, but make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you smack the like button. Make sure you are here at 4:30 p.m. Arizona time, where we'll be covering everything Arizona Cardinals draft. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, you guys are all absolutely amazing. Sarah, RC3, Devil, Shadow, Chaz, Carlos, Adam Bomb Gaming, Trevor. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody who's super chatted. Thank you guys, everybody. We'll be live a little later on today, talking all things Cardinals. If there's any other rumors, we'll be discussing it as well. So thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, Go Cardinals.